不要嘞！妈，这个会吓死哎！
Lemus would always look after his only friend.
Cái 感觉就很诡异。
Ola knew he had to hurry before she could complete the ritual. If he did not catch up with the woman, the swamp would swallow another child. But he did not know that someone else wanted to hold him back. A midwife who wanted more dark souls to take care of.
他怎么自己上吊？我来的太晚了。
Ulla had been too late. At least he could give the child a proper burial, so that it would not become another dark soul. There was a light in the darkness. Guilt and sorrow weighed him down, but the warm glow felt comforting. Follow the light, Tuva had said, and he trusted her. The Lichtgübe was older than the mountain, almost as old as the world itself. He was the keeper of secrets, the gatherer of stories.
跑步的样子好憨哦。
Long ago, there was a peaceful kingdom that lacked an heir to the throne. King Niels and his queen Magdalena had waited for a long time. She gave birth to the longed-for son, and they named him Ulrich. But Magdalena succumbed to the labors of childbirth. The love weighed down by sorrow, King Niels approached his autumn. The prince was the only thing that kept the darkness at bay in his heart. One day, Prince Ulrich fell ill. The doctors tried everything, but he grew weaker and weaker. King Niels searched the whole kingdom for the flower to no avail, and his campaign soon became a gruesome witch hunt. His path was lined with the witches he had slain, but the flower was nowhere to be found. Ulle wished he could stay in the warm light of the library, but he knew that he needed to reach the mountain and find Lillemor.
都已经忘记我们是来救姐姐的，完全忘记最开始的目的了。
Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. Follow me, little brother. I will protect you.
还有 P2哦，好扯！怎样？好 P3哎，哭啊！魔兽世界打团本是不是啊？应该没有 P4了吧？ 哇！哇塞，是可以的吗？要抽几下啦？有没有那么恨他？我不按看看会怎么样？我不按就没了。哇，好惨哦！
Once there was a peaceful village near a great forest. One night, people began to see a beautiful woman with... Men started to follow her into the forest. Some of them never returned, and those who did had lost their minds. Eventually, the villagers had enough. They took all the dark-haired women of a certain age. They started to execute them, hoping to find the right one.
哦，这就是刚刚外面那些被吊
Men
死的
kept
人。
disappearing during full moon nights. The villagers grew more and more desperate and burned down a large area of the forest in the... The villagers had lost themselves. They killed their own mothers and daughters. They burned down more of the forest that had served them with resources. Then one night, when the moon shone at its brightest, 5 brave men took matters into their own hands. After a time, they saw the beautiful woman standing in a clearing. The men were instantly enchanted. She was a shapeshifter that mimicked what men wanted to see in order to lure them away. She ripped their chests open, hung them up in the trees, and drew strange powers from their still beating
这
hearts.
是刚刚我们打的那个团队副本的 BOSS。
Dear diary, I am so in love with him. I cannot... Our village still tries to heal its wounds from the dark days. But after the horrible witch hunt, we thought we were safe. We thought we would have peace. But then... Feels like the plague is some kind of punishment for our sins. People say they have seen an old woman with a rake at night. Every house she passes, people inside get... Every morning someone new has fallen ill, and shortly thereafter they die. It is horrible. The dead are rising from their graves, and they eat the ones left alive. I wish I could be with him. I hope I can meet him in the next life. I'm out of food, and the dead are right outside my door. I miss him so much.
慢走，慢慢走。哦，他们也过不来，没事啦。几层超级大头。哎，他们过得来哎！天哪！ 100嘞！哇！ 要不要这么诡异啊？一会天亮，一会天黑的哎。要嘞！妈，这个会吓死哎！啊？什么东西？还来哦！想吃啊！太多只了吧？这哪一只？看到了，这只。
Overcome the darkness. He had reached the mountain. He had reached the end that Tuva had pointed him towards. Now, entering the halls of the mountain, Ulle was ready to find his sister. Exhausted, bloody, and at his wits' end, King Nils came to a witch's house on the... He fell to his knees, begging the witch to help cure his son, and she agreed. The witch explained that the flower held tremendous power that could... The witch instructed he only use a single petal. Using the whole bloom would only invite death. Ulrich began to recover, but discontent at the royal line had grown in the kingdom, following King Nils' bloody campaign. The next day, King Nils found his son dead, and the last light holding his darkness at bay. Heartbroken, King Nils turned to the bloom which had promised life, and instead saw it as an escape from his suffering. The witch, having come to visit the king and the prince, looked at the nightmarish scene in She raised a mountain on top of King Nils and shackled him using the same bramble that he let loose upon the kingdom. And to this day, the trolls still feed him as punishment for his evil deed.
然后那些山怪剁的那些烂肉是给国王吃的。换一身衣服。长得跟他的儿子很像。 太熟了吧？哦，这边那么吵，难怪我这样子他没醒。
Forever, now opened. The Mountain King, who was meant to be hidden forever, was now revealed. He just had to reach the sack before Lillimor ended up as the giant's dinner. Bramble weakened, the Mountain King saw clearly for the first time in centuries. And what he saw reminded him of his beloved son. He would not lose him again. This time, King Nils would overcome the darkness.
我们还在上面呢，你就这样推。
flowers blossomed. King Niels tore the bramble rooted in his back and brought it all to an end. The only way to get to Lillemor was now up and in. Tuva had one last gift to give to Ole. Started to crumble. Lemus would always look after his friend. A nightmare woke her up. Frightened by her memories, she searched for her brother's comfort, but he was nowhere to be found. However, the darkness outside did not scare her. Because she knew she had her brother.
神了，游戏好玩。